I know there's a lot of politics also that's playing out over these searches or survey, as it's being called by the IT department. But is it the first time we're really seeing this kind of a crackdown on BBC? I want to focus on that and get you some data of how in the last many years, really, the BBC has come under scrutiny. And I'm not talking about, the clampdown on BBC during the emergency or any of that. Over tax payments. Has the BBC faced fire in India before? The answer is yes, and that too under the erstwhile UPA government. Let's break down for you the number of times, not once or twice, but 4 times really, that BBC has faced action. In the term of 2002 to 2003, the IT department had issued a notice to the BBC on this particular issue. The BBC was essentially issued a notice for this reason, because they were told to pay tax also on revenue that's generated in India. Now, this was an issue, in fact, that the BBC immediately challenged. So right now the status is that it's pending before the IT Department Appellate Tribunal. So it's still something that's being taken up right now, and it's not the only year. So between 2002 to 2003, a notice was issued. Again, between 2003 to 2004, the IT Department issued a similar notice to the BBC. Again, they were told to go ahead and pay this tax on income generated in India, on revenue generated in India. It's pretty much the same status here too, with it pending. Now, again, this happened in 2006 to 2007, where another third notice was issued by the IT department. Note here that these weren't surveys or searches. These were, in fact, notices that were issued to the BBC. Similarly, it's a matter that the BBC went ahead and challenged. The last notice also that was issued by the IT department was between 2008 to 2009. So 4 times that you've seen the UPA government, or also under the UPA government at least, the IT department going ahead and pulling up the BBC, saying pay up on the income that's being generated in India. These are all pending right now before the AT, which is in fact the IT department's Appellate Tribunal. Now, amid all of this, there's been a lot of talk about how the global media has viewed what's happened with the BBC. We told you how the US and UK governments have responded. What has been the top headline in most of your global publications? Let's take you through that. You look at the Washington Post. This, in fact, is their headline, where they've said the Indian government raids BBC offices in wake of documentary critical of Modi. 2 aspects that I'd like to highlight. One is the use of the word raid, and the other linking it to the Modi documentary. And you'll see this as a similar trend in almost all international publications. The New York Times, this is their headline. It says, Indian tax agents raid BBC offices after airing of document critical of Modi. So you see again, this wording's very similar. You'll notice the similar thread across all publications that we've pulled out here. The Wall Street Journal, another very popular, worldwide famous publication, again says Indian authorities go ahead and search BBC offices, and again refers to the documentary about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. CNN, take a look at their headline. Indian authorities raid BBC offices after broadcast of Modi documentary. Almost all these headlines say this is a direct impact of the documentary. The Guardian says BBC offices in India raided by tax officials amid Modi documentary fallout. So you look at how the wordings are all different, but pretty much the same message that's being sent across. And finally, the Al Jazeera. Indian tax agents raid BBC offices in wake of Modi documentary. Same message being sent across by the global media. The opposition has been saying that this is the image you're now putting out, that India is a censor state, and that's the message going out to the world according to the opposition.